Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-Spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, March the 11th. We're going to talk about climate change, specifically climate change with Columbia. And I want to introduce you to Linda Godwin, who is with us from the city of Columbia. Good to have you here, Linda.
Well, thank you.
And you've been with us before. What do you do precisely regarding climate change and the city?
Well, I am not, the top-level people in the city. The Office of Sustainability really has a lot to do with guiding our city through meeting the goals of our climate action and adaptation plan, which was passed by the City Council in 2018 and lays out goals for greenhouse gas reduction and sustainability. But I'm a member of the Climate and Environment Commission here in the city. And so we meet monthly. We have teams that work on various issues, including communicating to the public.
As a whole, what do you see with the city of Columbia? Do you think most people are concerned and trying to make a difference with climate change?
I think most people are, but it's hard to think about it all the time when there's a lot going on. And 2020 was a tough year, right?
Yes.
And we didn't meet all of our goals. The municipal goals, are on track but not met. The residential goals, and this is a time to look back at 2020 and see what did we talk about. And there's a report that has been put together, and you can find that on Columbia on comoclimateaction.org. There's a lot of information.
Now, you said the city of Columbia did not meet all of their goals in 2020. What were some of the goals that they were trying to meet that they didn't?
Well, initially, on residential emissions, we want to get to a 35% reduction by 2035, and the city would like to go down 50%. So it's not like they're actually I want to imply they're not yearly goals, but there's a certain track to be on, and
Right.
We're still not on that track. But we continue planning, and what can you do to get there? And in addition, one of the things, you want to look back on is how was our climate in this state in 2020 and what's going on. And there's a lot of good climate data out there, too. And as a matter of fact, the Missouri organizer of that data is at the University of Missouri. And it's climate. Yeah, they can find that. People can find that at climate.missouri.edu. And there's a lot of good information on what's going on in our state.
And now our nation is going back into the Paris Accord, which is good news.
I was glad to see that.
As far as people individually, we can all make a difference in our own small ways. But when you get enough people making small advances, it leads to big advances across the board.
That's right, in both directions. So you want to do all small good things for a lot of good, and if people all, we make the wrong decisions, that adds up too. So leadership to go in the right direction is important.
So what's the most important thing that we can all do to make a difference, to help improve climate change and to use less?
It may not be the same for everybody, but I would say think about reusing, reducing what we do, reducing what we throw out. I made a big change and got solar panels last year, but not everybody can do that. But everybody can do something, and I think it's important not to be overwhelmed by the list of what you can do and pick something that works for you. Like maybe drive less, walk more, ride a bike, be healthier. There are really good ideas put out every day for people that want to follow Como Sustainability on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram. And so they don't even have to remember. They can just say, hey, what are they suggesting this week?
Right.
Maybe that's something I can adapt into my behavior.
Let's talk about your solar panels. So did you put solar panels on the roof, or were they mounted on the ground?
I was able to do it on the roof.
Are you producing enough electricity to operate your entire house with those solar panels, or is it partial?
It's tied into the grid, and so whatever I don't use on a different given day goes back into the grid, and if I need to pull energy out, it comes to me. So it's a really great system where on the day, there are some days that are really sunny that real time I am producing more than I need, but
So
I don't
your
have a
meter
battery bank to store it. So it
Your
goes
meter
back
is turning backwards.
on some days. And now on those cold snow-covered days with low sun angle where they had 2 inches of snow on them, those were not good days. But even in cold weather, if they're clear, and I can produce a lot of what I need during the day, but it won't store for overnight use.
Right. So
I supplemented.
What you're producing, you have to use at that time. If you're not using it all, it goes back into the grid and it turns your meter backward. So in reality, when the meter is turning backward, it's taking those numbers down. So when they do the meter readings, they, whoops, wow, we didn't use that much electricity this day. Isn't that the way it works?
I get credit. And sometimes I can put enough back in during the day to even last overnight. Those are the optimal times of the year, when there's not a lot of cooling or heating. And probably some of my neighbors are getting some of those, some of that energy that's being put back in.
Yeah. So that's
it's a great
something,
system.
It's something to think about. And there are there still tax credits for solar panels?
They were still extending. It was less than last year, but there were still going to be some credits in 2021. It could be that we will see these renewed. I don't know. I haven't heard that yet. And if you're on the city power, there's some rebates from them that are available too. And the companies that put these in also offer some pretty nice financing that may not be any more than people are paying per month.
For electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
in the
worth
long
looking into.
in the long run, it helps everybody. Now, even if you're not in the city of Columbia, you could check if you're on a rural electric co-op. You can talk with them about how they work out with the solar panels.
And it does work. For example, I'm in the city limits, but I am on Boone Co-op.
You're on Boone Electric.
And so that's where my power feeds back in. And they didn't, they are very much into doing that too. And your installer knows how to,
Right. It's not something that you can do as a handyman yourself.
Oh, no.
It has to be done. It has to be done professionally. Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we run out of time here?
No, I just want to say, I really encourage people to educate themselves and look at some of the climate data from 2020. And if there's one thing you can, climate.org is a great website run by NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Keep up on the social media posts, see what you can do. And even though I know people's days are pretty busy and there's lots of challenges right now, there's small adaptations to their behavior that can make a big difference.
So you can change out the light bulbs to the LED lights.
Hey, that makes a big difference.
It does
That's
make
huge.
a difference. It makes a great big difference.
And you don't have to replace them as often.
Yeah. Insulate the house. Turn the lights off when you're not in the room and unplug those chargers, too.
And make your thermostat more efficient.
Yeah.
That's an easy one everybody can do.
Okay. Thank you so much, Linda. And if people want more information, they can go to comoclimateaction.org.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
having you here. Please come back again. Out of time for today. If something you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Drop me an email. That's pepperp@missouri.edu. When you go out, wear that mask.